Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Ahoy, hoy. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It's,
Hey, dear.
It's last day of May.
Oh, my gosh, it is.
It's not gonna be May anymore.
Oh, goodbye, Dustin Timberlake.
Again, for another
You can
year.
go in his box till next year.
Don't worry, you'll get 500. It's gonna be May memes soon enough.
That's right. In 11 months.
Welcome, listeners, patrons, Romans, country folk, country time,
Old country
meteorites,
buffet.
blase folk,
An
everyone under the sun,
invited transgendered species, as they say in Star Trek Nemesis, at the wedding of Deanna Troi and Will
That's
Riker.
right. Which was it a nude wedding? I can't remember. I don't know if
We just watched Nemesis, which was not great, but what are you going to do? But the nude wedding was going to happen later on Beta Z.
Yeah, that was the second wedding.
So they have the human wedding where nobody's naked, and then later everybody's got to be naked.
because all the advancements that Earth has come through, but they still can't deal with seeing each other naked.
Nope.
Well, I mean, do you want to be at a wedding and go to the buffet line and everybody's just nude and waggling, and
As long as there's a dong guard to keep the ding-dongs out of the mashed potatoes.
a booby guard to keep the boobies out of the mashed potatoes?
Who are you
How
asking?
long was this buffet table?
Well,
It's ball height. Because there's different species there, Andy. They have to have it short enough
Yeah, they don't all have balls.
for the Ferengi to reach the
Some of them
macaroni and
triangles.
cheese.
Well, how inclusive.
yeah, the
I
Ferengi are tiny.
have zero beef with any kind of nudity ever at any point.
You want
And
to see
that's not
Donald
just-
Trump nude?
It wouldn't mean anything to me. I mean, I don't want to see it, but
Here's the thing, Amy.
Yeah.
If they said that Donald Trump's nudes were leaked, I'd Google that.
Yeah, you'd
Me
want to
too.
know, right?
Me too.
Aren't you morbidly curious?
But
Like-
wouldn't it be something if you misread the headline and it just said that Donald Trump's nudes are leaky?
it would be both headlines for sure.
Even better.
Yeah.
Trump's leaky nudes leaked.
Oh, gross.
I'm just curious to see if he has a comb over pubes too.
Oh, yeah. And it has a little white dots on it, like where the little goggles for the tanning,
Yeah.
spray tan. He puts them on his penis, is what I'm saying.
Yes, he does. I don't know why I'm looking at the news already. It's
Yeah.
not time for that. So here we are, face to face, just a couple of silver spoons.
Hoping to find.
And it's listener feedback, miscellaneous debris, news, shit like that, which I got a little bit of.
Good. Nice.
How's everyone's weekend going?
Well, we had a socially distant meet up with our cohort group of Mike and his dog and Andy and his dog. And that was nice.
Yeah. We took a break from
From hell.
aching for the world.
Yeah.
And
An ache break?
here's a little ear bleach for you listeners. Cutest thing about Baloo, Mikey's dog, is that when he poops,
Oh, yeah.
he gets a little red rocket, right?
And then he runs at top
And when,
scat.
and when he's done, he's so excited he gets the zoomies and runs at somebody.
So he gets rock hard and goes for a run every time he poops.
I do that too, so
Yeah.
it's not that strange.
Yeah, is that how you win the pig? You just have to really take the biggest dump of your life, and you'll finally come in first.
And then you'll
feels good going in, feels good coming out.
Yeah.
It was just the cutest thing because he's pooping, and man, that's a big dog and a big pile of poop.
Yeah, and a big dog penis.
Mike's like, watch out, he's gonna run when he's done.
He's half Great Dane.
It's the cutest thing that ever happened.
He's funny.
You should Photoshop a picture of yourself next to the big pile of shit from Jurassic Park.
Could you imagine if a T-Rex took a big dump and then went for a run?
I can
imagine.
That's what they do.
It was just really funny, and it made me laugh, and it just tickles me in all the right places.
Andy looks like a member of the Misfits right now.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of hair, guys.
Yeah.
I love quarantine hair.
Yeah.
No, I don't. It's a pain in the ass, but
Is it?
I'm gonna stay my ass at home because I'm scared.
Yep.
Yeah. Patreon.com/NOTLP. Eyes on TV, Fozzie's new television podcast is available now. The first episode is out there. Also, he and I got together and talked about the new series for Shudder called The Deadlands, which I recommend highly if you're a fan of Conan the Barbarian. It's got that old school sword and sorcery, like Sandal epic vibe, and it's super cool. Kelley, I think you'd love it.
Yeah, how's the production value?
Oh, it's really good. The funny thing is they sent us screeners, and I never thought to look to see, but they had already released it on Shudder.
Oh,
So I didn't even have to watch it through. I guess they maybe presume like maybe you don't have Shudder, so we'll send you the screeners. And like I could have just watched it on Shudder. So the thing is, the good news is that means anyone, if you have Shudder, go watch The Deadlands. It's really cool, especially if you're into Maori tribesmen and the mythology of that. It's just a really, really neat series. It's got a lot of heart too.
looks cool.
Yeah. And Fozzie did an episode. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's it. Made you feel special watching a screener, though, right?
Oh, always. Yeah, because your name's on the screen the whole time.
Yeah.
You're like, look, I'm part of things. Now,
I'm special.
and Fozzie and Emily did an episode about Murder, She Wrote on Eyes on TV, which I feel like our podcast could have an entire Murder, She Wrote spinoff podcast just based on how many people involved in this love Murder, She Wrote.
Well, only up to season 5.
Up to season 5. So
that's only what the show on Amazon.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
We'll have to buy you the DVDs.
There are not. What are there 9 seasons?
It's still going on, actually.
It's just secret, and it's happening in Angela Lansbury's estate. So,
On the grounds.
so that's great stuff that you have coming. We've been, work keeps getting in the way of getting a Night of the Comic out, and also we've been doing that as a video version too, in case you've been missing that, so we can see the art and talk about the art of whatever topic we're on. But those things are all there for our patrons. Patreon.com/NOTLP. That plus our weekly meetups, which have been great. And we have a new patron, Jason Rubson.
Hello, sir. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
Jason.
Welcome.
Also, I'm going to make a point to this week to start mailing out the stuff that the things we owe you guys that have been piling up during quarantine because of, obviously we were waiting for things to calm down a little bit.
Oh yeah, the virus is gone now, so it's fine.
Even though it's still kind of crazy, I don't want to sit too long on these things that we owe you guys. So I'm going to make a point to get out to the post office next week.
Oh, and speaking of which, I've begun brainstorming for new shirt and pin ideas.
Woo! I can't wait to see it.
Ooh, you should.
I don't have anything concrete yet, but I've been thinking about it.
We should make masks.
I think we should.
It's a good idea.
We might want to think about that, but at least I would like to reference it in some way. It's like to memorialize this year in all of its insanity. Like we're wearing masks, or we're all like Black Lives Matter. Like in some way to create that time capsule might be interesting. But I am not the artist. I am not the boss of Kelley, and he shall do what he wants.
Certainly, I'm open to everyone's ideas.
Yes.
Submit it in a formal. If you could submit that to me in a formal request form,
I will access the form that
There's
you've
a portal
provided on our SharePoint.
Oh, like a
I will
phoenix rising.
submit it
A phoenix
via a
rising
flow.
from the ashes, Amy.
There you go. Well, we're not.
But we don't know yet.
We're still. We're not even fully ashed.
We're like that bird in Harry Potter that's still all ugly and has no feathers, and it's just laying
Fox.
there. Yeah, and it's got eyes all popping out, and you don't know if it's gonna live. That's us.
What bird is that?
Isn't that after the phoenix burns up and it starts being reborn? It looks like a grocery store chicken.
Oh, maybe. I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't retain everything.
I don't know animals.
Anyway, yeah.
So
Things are weird, that's all.
it's been. What were you
Remember
saying?
when we just had the pandemic to deal with?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Halcyon days.
This is America.
Yeah. I don't want to bring everybody down. So I just want to say, like, try, be allies, be supportive, read for context, and don't listen to everything you see on the internet without sourcing it and checking it yourself.
Yeah.
Empathize.
Oh, yes, that should go without saying.
Understand. Listen.
Be empathetic. Listen. That's I shared Emily shared an article that I shared afterwards because it was very good about how to help and how to listen, and it was good. Listen, talk less. We're talking because we have a show. But
was that Emily Intravia or?
Oh yes, Emily Intravia. Sorry. Thank you, Emily.
I mean, we're high atop white privilege and Asian privilege mountain right now. But obviously the Black community deserves our empathy, understanding, and allyship and work. Mm-hmm. And this podcast, 100%, I would hope you all agree with me. We are all in on that. And if you're a listener and you don't understand and you're not on the same page as we are right now, I hope you get there.
Yeah.
I hope you get there.
Yeah.
As silly as it is, like the thing, if you're listening to this, the thing we have in common are these monster movies and all this speculative stuff that we're into. Like, remember that we all have, this is just a cliche at this point, that we all have more in common than we allow ourselves to admit, even the people that disagree politically and everything. Like, try to focus on treating each other the right way, because you guys, everyone's more alike than they like to admit.
Agreed.
I don't like how much I am like the bad people sometimes, because gosh, I am just the worst. But trying, man, I'm trying to be better.
Hey, not all Amy's.
Not all Amy's. Oh,
Amy, the worst thing about you is that you think you're the worst.
I know, right?
She's trying real hard to be the shepherd.
Like that Amy lady from the Central Park video. Mm-hmm. I was like, do not. Oh, I was so worried the Amy would start, the Amy memes. Not worried. Obviously, it's not going to hurt me in any way, shape, or form.
I think Karen's got her feet in pretty good.
But Karen took it. She took it and ran with it.
Have you seen
she called the cops on it.
Yeah, even if we took it away from Karen, she'll complain that, hey, give it back to me.
She talked to the meme manager.
The meme manager. Have you seen the Trump with the speak to the manager hair meme?
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
I was thinking to myself, Andy, your hair is getting slightly Karen-ish.
Oh, I did Karen hair before already.
Yeah. It's getting there.
I remember.
I guess you don't follow me on Facebook or Instagram.
I follow you, but I'm not always. I don't like Facebook. I'm rarely there. And Instagram only shows me what it thinks I want to see, and clearly it thinks I don't like you.
Well, unblock me.
Oh, you're not blocked, baby. You're not blocked in my heart.
I saw it, Andy, and I loved it.
Thank you. It was a pain in the ass to do.
Oh,
I complained.
Let me see.
I complained to my hair.
I'm looking at his marshmallow picture where I'm slouching in the background with my gut.
All right, so if you go to Andy's Instagram, Freddie wants you to know that's not how he looks all the time.
I look like a gorilla.
He is a gorilla. He's a
big gorilla. God.
He's a big galoot.
I'm trying to find Andy. Oh, yeah. I saw your Karen hair. This is fantastic. Yeah, you didn't see that?
Oh, I've seen this.
She just thought it was just a hairstyle you were trying out.
How much? What did you use?
Copious amounts of hairspray.
Oh.
And I bullied the hair until it got into place.
Yeah.
So you should...
just like a Karen, you were bullied.
Yeah, I spoke to my hair's manager.
Yeah.
Follow Andy NOTLP on Instagram and you'll see all. He has a well curated feed.
He does.
He does.
Lots of
Bravo pics.
So just know that we support you and love you and are there. And everyone's getting inundated with all the media, though, so we don't have to bum you out with a bunch of what's happening around the country.
It's so hard right now to just exist in the world, and you got to take breaks from it. And I understand that, the Black community can't, and that has to be so hard.
But that's I know people want to avoid the news and stuff, but I feel like it's very important to pay attention to the news.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention, but you also got to you should be paying attention, but we are not the news.
We are not. I mean, you're going to do the news later, but it's not that kind of news.
It's definitely not that kind of news on any level. It's not even really news.
It's news to me.
It's snooze more like. We want to make everyone, including people of color, if we can, feel like just sort of normal for a minute, if we can.
So, what are we doing to have fun right now?
What are we doing
besides drinking?
I'm gonna grill the hell out of some meat come Tuesday.
Oh my God, Freddy is okay, you guys.
Is your new grill?
He won't shut up about it.
That's the only thing I care about.
Is it 24 karat gold?
No.
Is it in your mouth?
No, it's none of that. It's not that kind of grill.
Does it have breasts? Because you are obsessed with it.
It's a. I had to replace our grill. It's just kind of falling apart, and I'm replacing it with a pellet grill, which used to be something that was way outside of our means, but they have affordable pellet grills now. So, and I feel like it's gonna be good. I'm gonna make some meat and some veg. You can bake on it. I'm excited.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I want to make foods.
I'm very happy for you, Freddy.
I'll be cooking all summer long outside because I don't, you don't have to turn on the oven inside and get the house hot. You can do all your cooking outside.
I can't listen to it anymore. Every day a new accessory arrives. He got gloves, you guys. He got grill gloves.
Yeah, to keep your hands from getting burned when you're handling your meat. I got hot meat.
Grill gloves.
Meat's going to be hot.
Call yourself a man.
Yeah, a real man.
I don't need grill gloves.
Yeah, I refuse to wear them.
I just shove my hand in the grill.
Yeah,
my hands are real fucked up though.
It can't even really be called a hand anymore.
No.
It's more just sort of a stumpy fist.
Yeah,
a stumpy fist.
But I'm a man though.
Yeah.
What about you, Amy? What are you doing?
What am I doing? Oh, I just finished my Community rewatch. Oh, I got to tell Fozzie. So that was fun. I love that show.
Our buddy Paul started using his Instant Pot. He was real excited.
Paul's using the Instant Pot.
If you're in our Discord server, I mean, we're home. Everybody's, home for the most part. You're going to cook, right?
I don't want to. Oh, I made a cake.
You made a cake.
It was delicious.
Okay. But we should share this picture. This cake, I'm going to show Kelley right now. It is something.
I love to see some cake.
To behold the monstrosity that it became. So I'm not, listen, it's just box yellow cake and canister frosting, chocolate frosting, right? And I don't care about baking. It is not something that I take any care with, unlike Andy, who is, a real master baker, if you know what I mean.
I love getting baked and eating box.
Yeah. But it just became the world's ugliest cake. But it tasted fine, right? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I told you that.
I didn't
How much validation do you need?
Amy, I ate it for breakfast.
Lot. I need a lot of validation.
I ate it for breakfast. It crumbled in my mouth.
You really should.
You're like the Trump of bakers.
Mm-hmm. She needs, she'll go after you.
How are my cakes?
Are you showing
ratings?
this picture?
Hold on.
She made a promise that she can deliver it. There you go.
I texted it to you. I iced it before it was fully cooled, and it was a real fucking nightmare.
I just got it. You can stop holding it up.
All right. Listeners, we'll make sure you get to see it.
Looks good enough to me. I would have ate the shit out of that
Put it
cake.
on the Instagram.
I will. But I almost cried as it was falling apart in my hands.
Oh, you should have cried on the cake.
Yeah. Give it a little salt.
Yeah, like that sweet and salty thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what though, Amy? The fun of cooking is fucking up most of the time.
I don't enjoy cooking.
You have to accept that.
I guess I just don't enjoy it. Like there have been times I've felt all right, but I'm never like, can't wait to do that again.
You had fun making that cake. I know you got emotional because it was coming apart, but think about it. Like it gave you this whole conversation.
I guess.
You got to, your friends enjoyed eating it.
Yeah, when I woke up in the middle of the night, because I don't sleep like a normal person anymore,
Yeah.
I had some cake.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
It's fun.
Anyway. How are you?
Good.
How are you guys?
I've been working on and learning my animation software.
Mm-hmm.
On my animation project. It looks really good, but I can't really share it. I mean, I could, but then I would just be sharing like 30-second snippets of what will eventually be an entire video. And then when the finished thing comes out, no one will care anymore.
Do you remember on Parks and Rec when
we talk about it all the time? I'm not interrupting you.
No, I'm glad you did.
But whenever I talk about, like, the Colin will come out and I'll talk about what I was doing on my animation, and all of a sudden he'll go, standing up.
And then a little bit of stop motion. Mike's my laugh.
I've been working on that for 3 weeks. Even when you're not a terribly depressed civil servant, animation for anyone, it takes a lot of it does take a lot of time.
Yeah.
And it's very tedious, but it's well worth it.
It's like, is it soothing for your soul in any way?
For me, is it soothing? No, but afterwards I can look at it and go, I'm really fucking good at what I do. I feel like that's my main motivation for for developing myself, is just so I can impress myself.
That's wonderful. That's pure, Kelley. What you just said is
good. That's healthy.
Pure, uncut Colombian well-being.
I thought it sounded douchey. I'm glad it didn't. That's true. It is true. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like one of these like hippie type. I really do anymore. I'm really only interested in doing my art for the sake of doing it. I used to think that it was necessary to make money. That was part of my previous relationship, and that it wasn't worthwhile if I wasn't focusing on one to try and make it my career. And now I just work on what I'm inspired by, and the work is better. And really, it's just I'm just doing it for the sake of that. And if no one ever looks at it, I have one audience member that I make it for. And if everyone loves it, awesome. As long as she likes it, I don't really give a shit anymore. And as long as I like it, most importantly. So that's where I'm sort of at with that.
He did it all for the nookie. The nookie.
And to impress himself.
Yes.
That is the most important thing. I want to feel like I impress myself. That's what I like. I like when other artists impress me, so I want to do the same.
And see, I'm over here just looking for external validation of my cake.
Yeah.
And I need to snort up some of what Kelley's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's just everybody's different. But that's what I've been doing, and I really can't wait to show you guys this. I animated my own. I created a little releasing kind of logo for myself, and I made an animated version. Like at the beginning of any movie.
He animated himself releasing. That's what I heard.
Oh yes, that'll be the first thing you see.
Can't wait.
And there's going to be a disclaimer at the beginning that says this is absolutely anatomically accurate.
Giggle, giggle, giggle.
Yeah. As long as you like it, I'm fine with that.
Andy just is like, if you like it.
That's all that matters, right? As long as Kelley likes it.
Yeah. Like Sprite and chocolate ice cream.
Gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
As long as you like it.
It's delicious.
That actually doesn't sound bad at all.
Andy loves
kind of
that.
sounds like that sounds like a float.
It is. It's Andy's float.
It's the Andy.
That sounds really good. I don't remember that.
We all float down here.
Yeah. You should have Andy make you some of his hors d'oeuvres where he chews up a cracker and spits it on another cracker for you.
I don't know if you remember. I used to do that myself.
Yeah.
See? Kelley and I are going to open a restaurant.
So I understand.
It's going
to be called Chudes. Two Chudes.
Two Chudes.
Hey, Chude.
The motto is just try it.
Chude, where's my car?
We're very popular with birds.
Yes, we are.
The Chude Ranch.
I like Hey Chudes. Listeners, if you're confused, they did this when they were children.
Hey Chude, don't make it bad.
Yeah, Andy made more. Andy's was more sophisticated.
Yeah.
What he did was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Mine was
whole ass
more
thing.
just kind of gross.
You know how sometimes they take pate and they make it into a swan?
Okay, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
Gross.
That's Andy, just old saltines.
Yeah. Well, will you guys come to our restaurant at least?
I mean, I will always support you.
See, we have good supporter
Hey, as long-
friends
as
who
long as-
support our art.
As long as you
Yeah.
like it.
As long as you like it.
My jaw is so sore.
I'm really in the weeds back here. Can somebody come back and chew with me?
They don't understand how much work it takes to
Yeah.
make just one. It takes a whole box of saltines
Yeah.
and then hours worth of chewing to make one of your little amuse bouches that we give to you guys. And we don't even charge that much.
And I'm so dehydrated all the time.
So here's a question. It's like, is it like, you can order the Andy or the Kelley. Are they priced the same? Do they sell the same? Whose saliva is more flavorful? Oh, I'm going to vomit.
I would say mine is more of sort of a rustic. It's
Bigger
artisanal.
chunks.
It's really just Cheez-Its chewed up and formed into simple patties. Andy's is for the more like adventurous and again, it's just more sophisticated.
Yeah.
It's a higher level.
It's farm to table. Very seasonal cooking.
Like you went and visited a farm and then you went to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Farm to table.
Call this chicken and a biscuit chewed up in my mouth and back out again and on chicken and a biscuit.
Wait till you try my dessert.
Oh.
They call that that's the infinity.
I just melt ice cream in my mouth and spit it out onto a bowl.
It's a fountain. That's how much work you have to do.
A champagne
Imagine all the people lined up that he has to spit into their mouths.
Oh, stop.
It's like a
It's
baby.
insane.
It's like a baby bird theme.
I'm like, stop, but then I keep making it happen. I'm sorry.
When you seat your guests, they're in like it looks like a little nest, and they've got to poke their heads out of the top and scream at you.
They're little eggshell shaped chairs. Look like broken.
Like oh, and then you gotta come in like all in a bird costume.
You know, in a normal year, I worry, because new restaurants don't do, they fail at an alarming rate.
But this one,
But during COVID-19, I don't know, guys.
we're taking social distancing and turning it on its head.
Well, during the warm months, yeah, but like as it gets colder, we're going to move the operation a little further south.
All of our tweets are in person.
We just got on DoorDash though.
I'm going to
So
vomit.
yay, order from us.
Yeah, you show up on our porch in a bird costume, spit in our mouths.
But what about contactless delivery?
Your Dasher, horrible monster, is on his way.
Big
Hey,
birds
somebody took a bite out of this.
Somebody chewed up all my food and then gave it to me.
It's either what you wanted or it's some kind of crime.
Oh.
It'd be funny if like someone's like, "Can I get some water?" I'm like, "Hold on."
One man's dinner is another man's assault.
Disgusting.
All right. I'm going to.
We didn't ask Andy what he's doing for fun other than chewing up crackers.
Oh, what am I doing for? I'm actually having fun planning meals for the week
Yeah.
because I only go to the grocery store maybe twice a month now, so I have to plan out exactly what we get.
All right, Rachel Ray.
And
You call him Racial Ray?
Did you call him Racial Ray?
That's what I heard.
Rachel.
No, you said racial.
Isn't Racial Ray a fucking
hate you guys.
garbage pail kid?
She's in a Klansman's outfit.
I said Rachel.
But she's planning out a week's worth of meals, but she also hates minorities.
It's the Garbage Pail Kids for our life and times for now. How prescient.
Yeah.
I hate you guys.
We had this conversation before. I'm having deja vu.
It does feel familiar.
You had a Racial Ray conversation.
I know.
already?
Like, is it weird that I feel like this is like happened before? Time crimes. Chronos Crimines.
The temporal prime directive says.
That's right.
All right.
I'm going to TM that as my new drag name.
Racial Ray.
Racial Ray.
Racial Ray.
I did not say that.
It's a very controversial drag queen.
I've got you on tape.
But I didn't mean it.
I got you. I got you on camera.
Well, see, again, they have to read for context.
Yes.
You didn't say racist Ray.
Right.
Racial.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you neither good nor bad
It's a
connotation.
neutral term. It is about the context, but I didn't say it. So
No, Amy did not. She said Rachel. She said a hard CH, even though we told her not to. She used a hard CH, said Rachel.
Rachel. Anyway, thank you for your time. All right, Andy's planning meals. That's so domestic of you.
You could make that Garbage Pail Kid, and then you could also make Jeff Boyardee.
Oh, that's cute though. That's not gross.
He's just a guy, but it's Jeffrey Dahmer. You see, Jeff Boyardee's got a head in a pot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a big meatball in his hand, but it's he's got it's Jeffrey Dahmer with a chef hat on.
Hey, look what Siri thought I was talking to her.
What does it say?
Hey Siri, Jeff, where do you?
Actually,
It said I didn't get it. Dragon says, "Hey Siri, Jeff, where do you?"
If I'm feeling froggy, maybe I'll make us a meme of Jeff Boyardee with Jeffrey Dahmer.
It's just like
it's been long enough.
UFOs and neck.
Okay.
Spaghetti and his balls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's probably dated. I wonder if anybody's ever already done this.
Probably.
It feels like somebody had this idea. It's been so long.
There were 100 monkeys in a room
But if
with
not,
typewriters.
it's time to start drawing. Let's get drawing.
Cheeky monkey.
No.
What do you think people nowadays even know who Jeffrey Dahmer is?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You think people know who Jack the Ripper is anymore?
I don't know. I'm not a ghoul.
You know who Jack the Ripper is?
You don't judge me.
I know who that is.
Only Judy can judge me.
But
Don't judge me.
Jeffrey Dahmer was 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's like horrific.
Well, I got another Garbage Pail Kid, Fudge Judy.
Okay.
Oh.
Describe her to me.
She's Judge Judy, but she has shit all over her face.
She could be made of shit.
That too.
Anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
If you
So
if
she
you
pounds her
believe.
gavel, the shit just flies everywhere.
You could do a whole series of that. You could have Fudge Reinhold.
Mm-hmm.
You could have Mike Fudge.
It's true. You could have a bunch of people with shit on their face and just use the word fudge. You could have
Is this the content you're paying for?
a fudgy Mike Tyson. You don't even have to have a name that rhymes with fudge. All you need is shit on your face.
Exactly.
That's all you need.
All things
all you
are
need.
possible.
Can they be scratch and sniff cards?
Hell yeah. Fudge is all you need.
Well, patrons, you're welcome for this.
Yeah, and just regular listeners too. I mean, you're important as well.
No, you are. I just wanted to tell the patrons thank you because they're ponying up money for this quality.
Yeah.
They're the ones paying
Content.
for this to make this happen.
Listeners who are just hanging in, I appreciate you and your patience.
Yeah,
Just
if you
kidding.
don't like it, blame the patrons.
Yeah.
We get it. We know what you like.
We're just
giving you
reading
what
the
you want.
script written for us. So,
Yeah, we're giving you what you want.
Feces Witherspoon.
oh God.
Patreon, what you guys do all the links. I want to do it the way you do it, but I'm bad at it.
Patreon.com/NOTLP. And everything can be found at NOTLP.com.
So yeah, hang out. We're going to move on to news.
Yeah.
We
Does
sure
that
are.
work? Is that good?
Yes,
I
very
think
good.
that is.
I only do this once a month,
I know.
so it's like I got to remember how to do it every time.
And I believe
So
in
does
you.
Freddy. He's trying
I
to
do.
find.
You know, I do things.
Mm-hmm.
Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Remember, human beings are their food.
Yeah. Y'all ready for some hastily gathered and haltingly read news?
Bet your ass I am.
Awesome. So let's start with Planet of the Apes.
Let's do.
New Planet of the Apes being developed. It's continued through development throughout COVID season, is according to this article. But it's a new, the Rise, Dawn, and whatever the other one was.
War.
War. That trilogy is kind of complete.
Mm-hmm.
The world's most depressing trilogy.
But
Did you see the
also
last
so
one?
high quality.
It's good.
No, I get it. I just couldn't handle it anymore, just emotionally.
I actually still haven't watched Dawn and War,
Yeah.
but I love Rise so much, and I've heard nothing but good things, which is so weird in this time too, to have a trilogy come out that everyone feels like it's pretty consistent across the movies. And,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So good on you guys, Matt Reeves and team. But this person with the last name of Bell,
Kristen?
no,
Alexander Graham?
it looks like ass, but I think it's Jess. My eyes are bad.
Aw.
I can enlarge it. Wes, thank you.
Wes.
Wes, and it's not Bell, it's Ball, is the new director. He directed the Maze Runner trilogy, which whatever, but he also made something called Mouse Guard. I don't know about that. But he says that the new movies are going to be consistent with the previous trilogy, and this is from Wes Ball's this is from Wes Ball's own mouth. Those last three movies are one of the great trilogies we have in modern movie history. They are just so well done. They honored the original movies. They sprang from the Charlton Heston movies. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. They honored the original movies they sprang from, the Charlton Heston movies, which I think he was only in the first one. But they grounded it in a modern sensibility, and it just worked. Caesar is okay. That's just him blowing the original movies with his mouth. Okay. We have a take. Mm-hmm. We have a way of staying in the universe that was created before us, and we're also opening ourselves up in being able to do some really cool new stuff. I don't know what that means. Again, I'm trying. They were riding horses. How much further can you go? Again, I'm trying without. They better not be driving cars. Again, I'm trying to be careful here. I'll say this for fans of the original three: don't worry. You're in good hands with Allstate. The original writers and producers that came up with Rise and Dawn, Rick Jeff, and okay. Anyway, you don't care. So good. Sounds like they're going to try and keep it consistent. Let's hope they do.
Kelley, on Night of the Comic, we have been talking a lot about Planet of the Apes in comics and TV and all that. But the comics do expand kind of on that world building that happened in the new trilogy, and they do new stuff that's worth. Stories that are worth telling. So I think it'll be interesting. I'm in.
No, I was just giving him a hard time.
Yeah. I know. I'm
in also. You have to go somewhere new. So I was just giving him a hard time. But I just, you know what I mean by, I don't want it to be the end of the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes with apes in cop uniforms.
Yeah.
And like an Ape Lincoln Memorial.
Kelley
they follow human history. Exactly.
Yeah.
Kelley demands naked apes.
And naked humans. I've been demanding it the whole time, but
yeah,
I can at least demand that these apes be naked.
As silly as the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes is, I mean, the original series had some moments like that. That seemed kind of
agreed.
absurd. I kind of like that in its own separate thing, but there's so much potential to tell real, like almost believable levels of like hard science fiction with these This
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really all I mean. Yeah, there's something fun and scary about seeing apes in human clothing and stuff like that. That I agree. What you said is completely what I think. In a separate sort of universe, that absolutely can work. But in this universe, that makes it almost like silly.
How do you feel about apes and diapers?
They should be wearing diapers if they're in your presence.
Mm-hmm.
Because they shit.
They shit a lot.
So that's the first bit of news I had. So you want to talk about this news I'm about to read to you?
Shit, yeah.
This is not good news. This isn't even news really at all. It's just Glenn Mazzara, the guy who was going to be the showrunner of the Dark Tower TV series, talking about why it's not going to happen. Oh God, I hate these articles. There's so much bullshit before they get to the story. So they had cast Sam Strike, whoever that is, to play Roland. Jaster Packbonen was the Man in Black. Some other people were cast. Cool. Michael Rooker was in an unspecified role. And it was going to be, the pilot was directed by Stephen Hopkins. I think you might actually even be able to see the pilot somewhere. I thought I heard someone say they actually found it. And Glenn Mazzara confirms that the first season of the show was going to be based on the prequel story Wizard and Glass, which I love. It is maybe my favorite of the Dark Tower books. And the second season, which makes sense because it is a prequel. And then the second season would have been drawn from The Wind Through the Keyhole, which I have but haven't read yet, which was the 8th book. And blah, blah. And this is what he says. The story of the pilot is basically Roland in the desert. The Man in Black fled across the desert and the gunslinger followed. Yeah, we know. We've all read the book. In this version, he's chasing Martin because Martin was with Gabrielle, which is Roland's mother. Yes, we also know that too. Anyway, it's not going to happen. It doesn't look like, which is a bummer.
I'm sorry.
Maybe this version won't happen, but maybe someone will pick it up. Maybe it just need to be retooled.
Well, what's funny is like this keeps happening to it because the original idea was 3 movies and then TV series between to bridge them when it was Ron Howard.
Yeah,
and that sounded awesome. And then they were like, "Nah, we can't really do that. So bring it down." And then they brought it a little bit down from that without the TV series. And then they brought it down and then they brought it down and then they brought it down and then they aborted it and gave us what they gave us.
Which wasn't very good. I don't know if you've seen it.
I truly don't even have to.
No, you shouldn't. It's not worth it.
Dark Tower.
Yeah.
And then this Amazon series got announced and I was like, oh, good. That's a better way to handle it. And now it sounds like they're like, nah. For some reason, studio, and I don't really get it exactly because it sort of seems like a no-brainer. There's so many other properties that are getting bought up that no one's even fucking heard of. And I mean, not no one, obviously, but that don't have sort of the name power of both Stephen King and the Dark. I'm not sure why it's such a huge thing that studios keep balking at the last second when they're greenlighting a second Suicide Squad movie when that movie bombed. Nothing against those projects. I just mean why this project? Studios,
I think sometimes when they're dealing with someone with a high profile, I honestly believe that sometimes they're like, can we push these creators around enough to make them do what we want them to do over a long term? Do we see like this creator getting, too big for their britches? And I think sometimes that's what happens with these, where they're like, everyone involved with this is so passionate about this. We see trouble down the road negotiating with them. So we're going to pick up a series where we're giving somebody their big break because then we can manipulate them. I know that's like a cynical way of looking at it, but I honestly think that works into some of these decisions.
No, thank you. Actually, I love when I ask a genuine question that I'm curious about and someone gives me a speculation. That makes sense. And I can see with that kind of thing, I'm sure that those passionate people also when the studios are like, well, we might want to tinker with it down the line and they might fight us on it. So,
Right. Like what happens when we have to cut here, there, and the other place? Like how much negotiating power are they going to have? Like I think, that was, I think what was intimidating with J.K. Rowling when before she had, expanded beyond the books of the Harry Potter series. Like I think some production companies were leery of giving her the control that, she rightly deserved for creating this and moving into the next phase. Like it's a scary prospect. It's almost giving somebody power over your studio. Yeah.
No, that makes complete sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. You want me to explain anything else to you?
I'll let you know if I do. Listeners, this actually I often have these. I'm very curious about people's motivations for what they do for all kinds of things. And I will sometimes put it out there like, why do you think people do this? Mm-hmm. And I mean it so genuinely. And 99% of the time I just get back, people are farts, or like some joking answer, or like, people are stupid. And it's like, yeah, I know. That's not what I'm asking. I want genuine speculations on what you think is people's motivations. And I appreciate, and it gives me an appreciation and gratitude boner when people actually hear what I asked and then say, I don't know if this is it, but this could be one reason. And it's something I hadn't thought of. And I'm like,
well, I can tell you're really thinking about it. You're not just throwing it, like you say, you're not just throwing it out there to throw it out there. You're thinking about why these things happen.
Yeah, I'm not goofing.
You're like Newton in the apple.
No goofing.
Anyway, thank you.
Speaking of Stephen King, has anyone else started It Bleeds yet?
No.
If it bleeds. Did I say it bleeds? If it bleeds. It's very, the first story is fantastic. That's as far as I've gotten, but it's really, really good. It's very old school Stephen King.
Which I love, and that does excite me. I haven't read it's so hard for me right now to find time to just sit and read because I'm doing other things. And so usually when I'm reading, it's because I have a long stretch of time where I'm not doing anything, and I haven't really had that in a very long time. So like I still haven't finished The Outsider, and I love it. I love The Outsider. I have about 40 pages left to go or something. And I just never have the time to pick it up and do it. It's not even that I don't have the time. I don't make the time.
I read in bed until I drop my iPad on my head.
I have a hard time reading now these last couple of months.
And that's in bed. Usually right before bed, we're typically listening to a show, like usually. So like Lore or this show or a last podcast or, something like that. Or some great new ghost story podcasts we discover that are pretty cool if you're into true ghost stories.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Send them along.
But anyway, but I am excited. So If It Bleeds is a collection?
Yeah, it's an anthology.
Excellent.
And like I said, I've only read the first story, but if they are similar throughout the book, I would say this is like a throwback to like Skeleton Crew.
Well, that's good. It's easier for me to read short stories than it is a novel. So
yeah, they're longer. Like the first story was over 100 pages, but it's still,
so they're like novellas.
Kinda. I don't know if they vary. Like I'm only one story in, but I feel like there might be some variance throughout. Nice. I think some of them are shorter than others.
Well, I will check it out. Joe Bob Briggs.
Heard of him.
I don't even have to read the whole text on this one or any of it. I just thought that some people might be interested to know that Joe Bob Briggs is hosting Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh yeah,
on Last Drive-In.
Wasn't that last night?
Yeah.
Or Friday night.
So Joe Bob Briggs hosted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He's not hosting. He hosted Cannibal Holocaust on Last Drive-In. So
yeah, I'm good. I don't need to see that ever again.
Well, no. So what they did, and this is really interesting, is that they're going to supply like the day after, so it should be available now, is that you just have his portion to watch.
Oh, so you don't see the movie.
Yeah, so you can either watch it with the movie, which no thank you, or you can just watch his contribution, which thank you. And I mean, I haven't watched it, but I thought that was an interesting kind of workaround for people who are made very uncomfortable by that movie, which I include myself in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's got value, but it's not something I need to watch very often.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one of those movies that I watch to be entertained by.
Exactly. If I'm just watching a movie to watch a movie, it's...
Okay, I haven't seen it in probably 10, 12 years. How much animal stuff was in there again?
Just a couple of moments, but they were brutal. The one with the giant turtle really bothered me.
Okay.
And it's a rough movie, man.
It is a rough movie.
But take away the animal stuff. Is it still hard to watch?
There's still some moments that are really, really ugly in it. But it's not a bad movie. It's a really well made. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's just
agreed. It has absolute value. It's just,
I'm just curious because I've literally forgot the movie because I feel like I tucked it away in part of my brain to protect myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious to maybe revisit it. Maybe
there's an animal cruelty free version of it you can get where those scenes have been cut out.
Okay.
If that's something that bothers you.
It should bother you.
Right.
And you can also probably find plenty of places that'll give you the timestamp of those moments that even if you just want to skip past it.
And Roger Deodato even said he regretted having those moments in the movie later.
Yeah, like I'm a very gray area person, but black and white on this one, you shouldn't want to see that.
Right, yeah.
I definitely, if I revisit it, I would definitely skip the animal parts, but I literally forgot the rest of the movie. So I'm just wondering if it is bad as people say it is.
It's rough.
So there you go.
So you want to know something? You want some hot goss about hot goss?
Oh my God. Yes, I do. Spill the tea.
So Universal,
heard of
you
them.
know what they make?
Movies, TV.
Monsters.
Oh yeah.
And you know that they are continuously cock teasing all of us with rebooting Universal Monsters in some way or another, which they mostly not done well at all.
The Mummy.
Mostly. So they're going to do it with the Wolfman again.
Yeah.
But this time with Ryan Gosling.
Oh, is this the hot goss about
Yep.
hot goss?
He pitched it, and he pitched a whole idea, it looks like.
A whole ass idea.
Wow.
Was he like,
Gosling pitched the
anyone
idea.
that's bitten by a wolf becomes a wolf themselves? That was his pitch. He cornered an executive on an elevator with that, and they were like, please leave me alone. Gosling, you're a creep.
So it looks like some of the writers from Orange is the New Black are working on the screenplay, which one of them is married to Jason Blum of Blumhouse.
Okay.
They just said that's interesting to note in this article. I don't know if it is or not. I guess anyway. So the Wolfman with Ryan Gosling.
I'm just so confused.
What?
Is this like a continuation of Tom Cruise's Mummy universe?
I don't think so. I think they're just going to keep rebooting it until something sticks, and it'll be a completely different universe than every previous one. And then eventually they'll probably luck into a good one.
Okay.
And push in that direction.
The Invisible Man, that's like a separate thing too, right?
It might be part of this. Like they might be trying to ride on that since it seemed to do a little bit better than some of the previous Universal Monster ones.
I love the idea of this shared universe of the Universal Monsters, but they're just going about the wrong way. They need a plan. The way Marvel did.
Yeah.
And you know what they don't need to do is make it. Again, I know why they want to. I completely understand it, but they don't need to make a big action shared universe with some underground group that hunts or tracks. Like they don't have to do that to have a shared universe. Like they can just all take place in the same world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't need Van Helsing to track down all of the Universal Monsters. You don't need
MCU
Dr. Henry Jekyll or whoever it was.
Yeah.
You just don't need that.
I kind of find Ryan Gosling bland, but I shall give him benefit of the doubt.
You don't really
He's
have
got
a
his
whole
moments.
lot of experience with him, do you?
Would you like to know?
Like how many Ryan Gosling movies have you seen?
I've seen that one that I hated.
Which one?
La La Land.
La La Land.
Oh, La La Land. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good movie to base his
Yeah.
career on because I hated that movie.
I
You
feel
try
like
Lars and the Real Girl.
She's never seen. I think you've only ever seen La La Land.
I've seen La La Land.
Yeah,
Lars is real good.
It's a bad example of him.
I've seen the Mickey Mouse Club.
Oh yeah, he was on there, wasn't he? That's enough. That's enough to judge your career on.
I'm done.
Those two things.
So again, this is not news. This is something that the Hollywood Reporter hears. This is what they heard.
I'm just telling you what I heard.
You heard
Gosling would play an anchor man who gets infected. The script has been described as having a vibe that evokes Network and Nightcrawler, and then it looks like the writer says it sounds like the end of The Howling or something. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of interesting. I know, Andy, you made a face, but I kind of like...
No, it was just so specific that he's an anchor man. Is he going to turn to a wolf on air?
Well, that's
what happened with The Howling, yeah.
Yeah.
I almost felt Kelley was going to say it's like a cross between an anchor man.
Yeah.
And
I was going to make that joke.
A whale's vagina.
But that's all the news that's fit to sort of talk about in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
I get
in
it.
that
I
weird
mean,
way I do. Listeners, do you like the news? Do you like what I do this? I don't know.
Well,
if you're not into it, you should definitely let me know.
I'm a host, not a listener. But I like it because I like to talk about the things that are coming up. Now's a hard time just because there's not as much news because of the shutdown due to the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a hard time. So don't worry about it. I enjoy it.
All right, good.
So fuck anybody who doesn't.
All right.
Well, that's the news.
Let's get to some of your feedback.
We accept a one of us. We accept a one of us.
Gooba gobble, gooba gobble.
We accept her. We accept her. Google gobble, Google gobble. One of us. One of us. Google gobble.
They're going to make you one of them. Fried peacock.
Global, 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 global.
You all right, Andy?
It's a little adorable until the mean big people start talking.
Yeah, I love and hate that movie.
Love it.
As you should.
So we had a comment on our Crypsis and Society episode from Rogero Smith. Said, keep up the longer episodes. This one helped fuel my long-ass bike ride last night. You guys have a great natural conversational style that only comes from being longtime dear friends.
You guys.
I often find myself talking to the podcast as if you guys are right here.
Hi.
I think that's the hallmark.
Crazy.
You've gone mad. I think that's the hallmark of a great podcast or severe mental illness.
Either or, baby. But seriously, you're not here. But aren't you? But maybe you are.
Do you want me to keep going, or does anybody else
have I manifested you?
Oh, just thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
That's
or
awesome.
Ma'am, or
We're
they.
glad you feel that way. That's how we want you to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got a message directly through the podcast site from Ryan Peters. Says, hello to all of you from the UK.
Hello.
I hope you all are keeping safe and well during these crazy times. I won't use the U word because it's getting used too much at the moment.
You could say amid or amidst, but yeah, we should probably take unprecedented and put it in the trash can.
I didn't know that was happening.
I didn't know that was a new word.
It was unprecedented use of the word unprecedented. First off, I wanted to say thank you all for the podcast and for doing it for so long. I first started listening to you guys 10 years ago when I was in university, and now I'm married and on my third home. Even though I don't know you guys, the consistency of having the show each week with familiar voices was appreciated when a lot of other things around me were changing. What has prompted my first email in 10 years of fandom is that I have recently found out I'm going to be a dad.
Oh my God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
My wife is 6 weeks pregnant, which is awesome.
Goodness,
news.
Kelley. You going to be all right there, bud?
Is he sneezing?
I don't know what he's doing. Oh, yeah.
Despite her being a nurse working full-time during this whole pandemic.
Oh my gosh.
My question, which I guessed is aimed at Kelley more than anyone, is how do you keep your own identity after having a child? I'm a huge horror and video game nerd, and part of me worried that having a little one in the house will make me lose that part of me and become a stereotypical dad. Not that there would be much wrong with that, but I'd rather be the cool dad that loves Hellraiser.
Fun dad.
Anyway, thank you to all for the years of company through dissertations, mortgage application, and tough nights at the office. Oh, and actually most of all, thanks to Amy.
Yeah.
For talking about Drag Race. My wife lives for the show now.
Although I don't have access to it.
And we would never have watched it without her recommendation. All the very best, Ryan Peters. And he's on Twitter. He's Thrash Marshall.
Before
Thrash Marshall.
Kelly answers a very good question, and why, just because Kelly's the one with kids, he gets to answer that, but whatever.
You should all feel free to weigh in. But I'm glad you asked that question. Because this is something I think about a lot for a lot of people, because I think a lot of people do think that becoming a parent robs you of some of your identity, and it doesn't have to, because it doesn't. If you have a strong sense of self and a strong sense of identity, there's no reason why you can't choose to continue to be who you are. Because with children, and this is the way I always looked at it, I'm sorry if I'm just rambling now,
no, you're fine.
But having children, they're yours. You get to raise them how you want to. It doesn't fucking matter what anybody else thinks about it. So I raised my kids. I mean, I didn't show them things I thought were truly inappropriate at early ages, but my kids were around what I liked, while I also allowed them to find what they liked. And I didn't really think about like what I should or shouldn't be doing media wise or identity wise. You take care of them and try to make them good people and help them to become their own people. And for me, like I value my relationship with my kids because I'm my own person and they are their own person. And I think a lot of people think that you need to make your kids some kind of like in your image, or let them be. When you let them be themselves and allow yourself to be yourself, your relationship is so much stronger and deeper. And so you don't have to lose anything about yourself, Ryan, and you just stay awesome, do what you keep doing, and just take care of them.
You ever meet those people that that have just become mom and dad? You know what I mean? Not the movie, but like, I'm my kid's mom. And
look, I'm not here to, and Amy, yes, I'm not here to tell anyone what they can or can't say. And certainly I believe and I do what I want. So if you want your identity to be, I'm Skylar's mom, well, that is your prerogative.
Please don't name your child Skylar, Ryan.
But you don't have to. Right. I want to tell a real quick story, and I'm sorry if this insults anyone, but when my son was in soccer, I would go watch practice with the other parents, and all they talked about, and I want you to understand, I love my children. I love being a parent.
Kelly's a good dad, fun dad.
I enjoy the time I spend with them. It's not like a drag or anything. Like, I've never felt like being a parent robs me of anything. But I see these parents at soccer, and all they would talk about was their kids. And I remember saying one time, like, do you like watch movies, or do you enjoy reading, or do you have a favorite sports team? Like, all you talk about is your kids. We're here right now with them. They're practicing. We don't have to talk about them. We're here for them now. We could talk about the things we're interested in, and it's like they didn't have anything. And I think a lot of times that's people who already don't have anything.
I have a specific person in mind that is that person, and it makes me so sad.
Well, you know,
I know. Well, I know a lot of people like that.
And there really is no shame. If your kid is the most interesting thing about you,
agreed.
That's fine too.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not trying to shame you. Right. I'm just saying.
I just can't live that life.
Right.
I think people get the idea that it has to be that way.
Right.
I am absolute living proof that it does not have to be that way. And you can be a parent without being Skylar's mom. You know what I mean? You can be all of those things. People are not one thing or another thing. You can be many things. And I think media portrays people as needing to be, because they're telling stories. So characters have character traits, but they're not real people. And I think sometimes we forget to just that there are many facets to everyone, and or there can be. So you don't have to lose yourself to be a parent at all.
And your kids will probably admire you for it.
Kelly has very cool kids.
Here's Alise. Hi, Alise.
Hey, girl.
Oh, she told me to tell you guys hi earlier.
Oh, he totally forgot.
You're
in
son
the
of a
doghouse
bitch.
now.
All this time, I could have known that.
They say hi.
I thought she hated me the whole time.
Yeah, this whole time.
Well, she did, but I mean,
I just
damn
remember
it.
being in the office and saying, "Oh my gosh, Idris Elba says he has coronavirus," and nobody in the office, and these are all women with children, knew who I was talking about. And I was like, "Oh my god, you guys don't know who Idris Elba is?" And they're like, "We don't have the time to watch movies and TV like you do, Amy."
that's not true. I want to put something, and now maybe the way you're doing it, you don't have time. And again, I'm not trying to criticize anyone's parenting style, but I hear all this, you never sleep again. Well, that's bullshit. I slept a ton, and not because I didn't do any work at night, like not because, oh, well, you're the husband, I bet your wife did. No, I slept the same amount always.
Yeah.
For the most part. And
he's not telling you that he had 4 nannies. It's fine, but that's
no, I
I'm
did
kidding.
the work.
I'm kidding.
This idea that having kids means you have no time, it is a huge time commitment, but if they don't care about that shit, Amy, that's ultimately the bottom line. If they had no kids, they'd not know who Idris Elba is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just because you don't know who Idris Elba is not an indictment on your character at all.
Well, no, Amy's just saying that these people are saying that they have no time to engage in a world that she is engaging in. And so she's not saying they should have to know who Idris Elba is.
But it's like one is not better than the other. It's just that's what
no, but I get that. I have gotten that comment so many times.
We're just saying you don't have time to know who Idris Elba is.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
I mean, he's one of the most beautiful men walking this planet, and you're going to tell me you don't fucking know who he is?
I just mean saying you don't have time to do anything. I've actually tried to stop saying a phrase like when I'm annoyed by something like, I don't have time for that. Actually, I do have time for it. I don't have the patience for it. And so I've tried to actually change that phrase for myself, because saying you don't have time for something like that, and maybe you don't, maybe you legitimately don't.
Right.
And you do, but more it's because you don't care about it.
Right.
People have time for what they care about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You don't have to care about Idris Elba, but don't blame it on your kids. That's, I guess, the ultimate line I was trying to get to.
It's not your kid's fault that you don't know who Idris Elba is.
I've gotten so many comments from people with kids that are like, I wish I had blah, blah, blah. And it's but it's not this wistful, gosh, I wish. It's like, you're not like me. I am somehow a warrior mom martyr. Like, which is it just seems to me that you're saying, God, I wish I didn't have fucking kids.
Yeah, well, it is. That's basically blaming their lost, ability to be human beings on their children. And I'm here to tell, I don't care who you are. You come and stand in front of my face, I'll tell you right to your fucking face. If you say that, fuck you. You're stupid and you're wrong.
Yeah.
I will. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I mean, a good example is like, every president we've ever had has had children, right?
No.
Pretty much. Mostly.
Was it?
That bachelor president?
The bachelor president.
We don't know about. He may have had kids that we don't know about.
Well, okay.
No, there was the one. You're right, like Van Buren or something. But the point is, like, they're able to. James Buchanan. They're able to split focus.
Yeah, you can. It's just what you care about.
Run a country and raise kids.
Yeah, I think people use it as an excuse because they're tired anyway and they're depressed and they wouldn't do that stuff anyway. But having children gives them an identity and an excuse to say, well, I can't do that.
Right.
And by the way, none of this is anything that Ryan was saying.
I know.
And again, I applaud you wanting to hold on to that. And just I want you to know that you can. But I just don't like when people use their kids as an excuse and act like they're holding them back from anything, because they're not.
Unless you're using your kid as an excuse because you don't want to do the thing and you're like, oh, gosh, I wish we could come to your wedding, but so in
sure, that's
kids,
okay.
I would love that excuse.
Yeah,
I respect that when people use it and they're like, you know what, the best part of being a parent is not having to do anything that I don't want to do anymore. And I'm like, I get that. I'm like, I'm lucky enough that I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not interested in doing that. Where I can just be straight. Like, I think when you're younger, you're still trying to make relationships and build things. So you say yes to a lot of things that otherwise you would be like, no, thank you.
I totally use the dogs as excuses to like leave places or not do something.
Yeah.
And
when really,
them,
I mean, most people will respect you just saying, hey, like what you were saying, Kelley, I just don't have the
patience,
desire or attention, interest, or whatever, or I just don't want to do that. Like,
but at the end of the day, if you don't know who Idris Elba is, I'm not sure I understand your life. Who's that? Who is Idris Elba? He's fucking goddamn.
And I also just want to say, I try not to be defined by your interests or your hobbies.
That's a great thing to remember too.
And also, like, the things I was interested like a couple years ago, I'm not necessarily interested in now. You're a person, you can constantly evolve, whether you like it or not. That's fine, but people change.
Exactly, and Andy, that is beautifully said. And just always remember, you're who you are, and you do what you think is best.
Somebody said, I wish I could remember exactly who this was, but it was a great quote I just read recently where someone was confronted over something they had changed on, and they said, I'd rather be a hypocrite than be the same person I was 10 years ago.
Well, of course, that's the thing when you see people getting canceled for something they did or said 10 years ago or 20 years ago or even 5 years ago, and now they're different on it, and it's like, that's good. You're supposed to grow.
Well, yeah, and anytime a politician changes their mind to a positive and people are like, oh, they're a flip-flopper.
Right.
No, what?
Well, sometimes it's okay to grow and change your mind.
Just look at our Origins episodes. We talk about all this, how we've changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's right.
All the potty mouth stuff is gone now.
Yeah.
Amy used to burp into the microphone.
We're clean teens.
We're clean teens.
So we got another email, and thank you again, Ryan, from the UK.
Congrats on the baby.
Yes, thank you very much.
For
Congratulations.
sharing.
You're going to be a great dad.
Yes, no doubt. Because you're thoughtful. You can already tell.
Mm-hmm.
This one's from Branan, who is also a patron of the show.
But
also
a friend first.
Also, the spouse of our
Emily.
good friend Emily, who we talked about earlier.
And a friend IRL.
IRL.
In his own right.
Yep. This is his message. I've been intending to send this message since the quarantine began, but whenever I would think I'll send it today, I always talk myself out of it. Mostly because I doubted my ability to put into words just how much NOTLP has meant to me. I felt I had to be eloquent and meaningful and find the perfect words to express my gratitude.
You've listened to this show.
Yeah, we're dummies.
I decided
speak
today.
for yourselves.
Yeah. I decided today that it is far more important to tell you thank you than to worry about how well the message is written. This is getting me a little choked up. The days and weeks have run together during this time, and I find myself asking, far more than usual, what day is it? When did that happen? Did I tell you this already? What day is it? And so forth. I do have weekly landmarks, though. Regularly scheduled events to which I look forward to, and NOTLP is one. I am excited every week when I see the new episode show up in iTunes and eager for my next trip to the park for a walk, which is when I listen to the show. Wearing a mask and gloves and staying 6 feet away from everyone, naturally.
Nice.
Nothing can relieve or remove the stress and uncertainty of this time completely, but for an hour or two every week, I am given a temporary respite full of fun and silliness, and for that, I thank you all. Branan. And there was a PS that was just for Amy, but it's about Star
Live
Trek.
long and prosper,
Yes.
sir.
That's really awesome. And that
It was a nude.
That makes me feel really good, because that's, like I said, for me, that's sort of what I just hope for. You know, that you can feel okay for a little bit and at least pretend like if nothing else, that everything's kind of normal. And because that's sort of what I want. So I'm glad you feel that way, Branan. We love you, man. You're awesome.
Yeah.
You're fantastic.
And I just want to say, like, this show helps me just as much as we help you too.
Absolutely.
If nobody was listening, I'll still be doing the show.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah, it's definitely super therapeutic for us.
Don't get me wrong. We definitely appreciate all the listeners and all the support. But
at the end of the day, you could all be thrown in a trash pile and it would be fine.
Y'all trash.
Kidding. Okay.
Not all listeners.
We got another message. This one is regarding Night of the Comic. This is from Dr. Brian, who.
Well, why are you reading it here? I'm not on Night of the Comic.
It's the feedback episode. And
Dr. Brian,
Amy
can
has
you look at this growth right here, real quick.
Huh?
I asked Dr. Brian if he could look at this growth.
Yeah, see if this growth is. It's a
you know that whole thing. Hey,
head.
you're a doctor. Will you look at this?
Will you look at this?
Yeah.
There you go. You know what I mean.
I've resisted many times because he's in our Zoom meetings where I'm just want to be like, is this a normal looking navel?
It's not.
Should my butthole be so open?
It should.
So he said, thanks.
Stop stretching it out with your hands.
He says, thanks for the Planet of the Apes podcast. Another fun Zoom meeting tonight. This was from a couple weeks ago, but I forgot to thank you for the recent Planet of the Apes cast before you rang off. Great info about the comics. Really helped pass the time while I was doing quarantine closet cleaning. Really love the part about the Plastic Club wiffle ball bat toy. Had to look that one up on the internet. Ape smash ball with club. Ape sign is free agent. Not get cheated by humans in collective bargaining. Take care. Be safe. The fans appreciate all you do.
Totes appreciate.
Brian. So yeah, you can listen to Night of the Comic whether you're a patron or not. Just go to patreon.com/NOTLP. We have a lot of fun. That's Jason and Dave, aka Scarecrow and the artist. And Amy's hair looks so good right now.
I need a haircut.
We have a lot of fun. And Planet of the Apes, like Dave and Jason both have this like encyclopedic knowledge of comic culture and toys. That's what they were talking
toys.
about. Yeah, like the Planet of the Apes wiffle ball set. Like who would have known about that?
The person who made it.
Besides them.
The kids who had it.
Them too.
They're all dead.
All dead. They're dead, Dave.
All dead.
Let's see. Got a message from Jimmy B. He says, just checking in to say thanks for keeping the show going during the quarantine. It's very comforting to have that to look forward to each week for us fans of NOTLP. The quality is also to a point now where I don't even notice any difference in that it's done remotely. Not that I would care if it was lower in quality, but I really don't notice a difference.
Oh, good, because we're getting we're trading in this equipment for lower grade equipment.
We're gonna just save some money. We're switching to magic microphones.
Yeah.
Magic.
I don't know if you've ever seen these advertised online, and I don't know how viable it is with the current situation, but the guy who built the replica Myers house in North Carolina runs these events called On-Set Cinema. He shows a movie in the place it was filmed, basically. They've done some interesting ones in the past, and it looks like they have some more planned for the future. I always think of Mike when I see Myers house NC post about them on Instagram, because it seems like new events and experiences are really what are important to him. That's true.
That's very true.
Speaking of him, I have a Black Lab Great Dane mix.
Oh.
Who's turning 13 this year.
Wow.
I don't hear of that combination often.
You got a tween in your house.
But if his puppy is anything like Princess has been over all these years, he really lucked out.
Shit, yeah, he did. Man, Blue.
Blue's 4, right? We think?
4, yeah. He gives good hugs.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he leans on your leg so hard.
He leans back.
Almost tumbles you over.
That I almost fell.
Yeah.
Because he a big boy.
He's wonderful.
He's so good.
He says, she's just a really big, sweet love bug. Haha. Haha was in the email. And here's something funny. Finally, thanks for the Quibi recommendations. I know Amy and Andy were playfully giving you shit during that episode.
Ain't nobody care about Quibi.
A couple of weeks ago for going into so much detail about what's on Quibi. But it was really helpful to me. I didn't know
Hey, Quibi, this is your one and only watcher. No, you're two of them.
No, there's two of us. I didn't know.
Is Quibi not doing well?
No.
I mean, the whole concept is tough because they released a mobile-only platform right before quarantine happened where people were home and can watch their TVs.
Yeah, no, I get it. I was thinking that I
don't blame the pandemic on Quibi's failings.
I was thinking it was going to maybe be somewhere I could pitch like a short animation project series to.
You can try. Yeah.
they might fold. Anyway,
yeah, give it a shot. I mean, it's NBC Universal owns them, so they're going to repurpose whatever content they sign up. I didn't know anything about the service, and working from home, I'm always looking for stuff to have on my phone or in the background while I'm working. I signed up for the free trial, and I've been really enjoying some of the stuff on there. Reno 911 has returned, and it's only on Quibi. The thing that drives me nuts about Quibi is I want to be able to share it to my TV or just create a. I know it's cool. The concept is a fun idea. Had we been on the move as a society right now, I wouldn't have known the difference between watching something on Quibi or on the Hulu app if I'm out and about and I happen to be watching something. It would just been another channel. But it stands out as like being the one thing that's an inconvenience. I have to watch on a specific kind of device. And if they change that, I think it would make a huge difference because they have great, it's not a content problem. They actually have content that's better than some of the content available on traditional platforms.
This is what they kind of do sometimes when they come out with these new services and new platforms. You should never be limiting a way of using that just for the sake of the gimmick. You should never limit, like I guarantee they're like, and we'll only make it available on mobile. And that way, that's what makes it special. Don't limit your accessibility for the sake of your gimmick. That will never, ever, ever help you.
Right. I agree. Which is why Quibi is
that's bad
irrelevant.
Marketing.
Right. Horror Hound weekend obviously has been pushed back. And now it's like we really just don't know. Everything's still up in the air.
The Indie September show is still technically scheduled, but I don't have high hopes.
Now, the good news is that both Robert Englund and Kevin Smith have confirmed they're going to do their appearances now in Cincinnati next year.
Yeah.
So at least that's happening. And also, just so you know, like if you still want to support Horror Hound, they have merchandise that they were going to sell at the event that now you can buy online. So go to Horror Hound's website and support them. Those are our very good friends. We love them to death. And
They're the best.
It's important that they can keep doing what they do because they bring us all together a couple of times a year. And without them, it might, that would be a much more difficult way of seeing all of our people we love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we go back to Quibi for a minute?
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Hold on, I'm not done.
It really bothers me. I don't understand. This is such stupid marketing. Like the whole only watching it does nothing for them. It doesn't make it cheaper or easier for them to restrict it to mobile only. It provides literally no benefit in any kind of meaningful way. So the only reason to do it is to make it this like exclusive, like marketers. Stop with the exclusive. That's not a thing people care about anymore. It doesn't make people feel special except extremely rich people. And if you're aiming a product at everyone, that the exclusivity of it means nothing. So you're shooting yourself in the foot for no gain. Why? I want the Quibi marketing team to contact me with some kind of response.
I love it.
I wanted to thank Brandon Boone again for very last minute. I reached out to him to do some music for Fozzie's Eyes on TV podcast, and he turned around a really cool theme. So check that out.
Sounds great. Love it.
Yeah, and it's a different kind of feel for both for what Brandon usually does and for from our different shows. We all kind of have like a different aesthetic. So I think this show is definitely it's Fozzie's. It's got Fozzie's fingerprints on it, and I think he was real pleased with the theme and everything. There's an episode coming up that I haven't posted yet of that show about Avatar, The Last Airbender, which I know is a hugely popular series that I've never watched, but maybe I will now. And I'm thinking, do I have anything else? Do you guys have anything?
No, I'm spent.
I am spent as well.
I left it all over the proverbial walls of the studio.
As they say. Skate, skate, skate.
And we had a message from Jason Rubsum, our newest patron. I just want to say again, thank you to you for your support. We'll get your pin out to you ASAP. And he said, congratulations on 14 years. Unbelievable.
That's cray,
It truly is cray.
It's fucking nuts.
What else would we be doing?
I know, really. Like,
It's really knucking futs.
I don't have kids, so I have all the time in the world to do whatever, you know.
And I make time
we're going to start an Idris Elba podcast.
Yeah.
You guys should. You guys seem to really love him. I mean, I do too.
I like him. I don't know.
Do you celebrate his entire collection?
Y'all ain't seen The Wire? That's some important television.
We haven't finished it.
I know, but the first couple of seasons were great.
Very good. I like him in the Thor movies.
I like Pac Rim.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was in that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He does those great, like, is it Stella Artois commercials?
Don't forget The Office.
The Office.
Oh yeah.
And Luther, I was sick. I got better.
And also from Coronavirus. You might know him from that.
Coronavirus.
That's right. He's this coronavirus survivor.
Mm-hmm. Him and his wife.
Which is what we got.
And
Got
he's
us on
an
the topic,
asthmatic.
right?
And actually, that was an interesting thing to watch as somebody who's married to an asthmatic.
And that he just seems so tough that you wouldn't guess he has asthma.
Yeah. Well,
part of it too?
that he has the virus and he's asthmatic. Something I've worried about with you.
Right. But also look
And
at
he's
him.
fine. Well, I get that.
He's not the kind of guy you look at and go, inhaler?
But people do that when they look at you.
It's kind of like if like you found out Clint Eastwood was like wearing
A girdle.
Pocket protector through like every moment in his career. Like underneath that thing in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, there's a pocket protector with like a slide rule in it.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
So at the end of every show, we say hi to our Beelzebubs.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I really flubbed it last week. Anybody want to take this?
I'm bad at improv. Kelley.
You could just thank people.
Should we just say their names?
You can just thank people. You don't have to do anything performative.
There is pressure to do a bit. So
Yeah, because Freddy always does bits.
That's because I have a disease.
All right. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Todd DePapa.
Yeah, Todd.
You're reading that in a weird order. Are you looking at the same screen?
I'm going for the bottom up.
Amy likes to go from the bottom up.
It eats you starting with your bottom. Blayne, thank you. Bill, you know that you're the coolest.
You know it's true. Ooh.
Adam, Ingram, thank you.
Both of your names end in AM.
Yeah.
Both first and last.
Have you ever thought about that?
It blew my mind.
Branan and Emily, which we've already discussed how wonderful they are, so they don't get any more.
You are hugged.
Jeff Lancaster. I have not given more thought to your nickname. We'll work on that later, but thank you. Iona Goodwin. Thank you.
Oh.
Because I own a great one.
Hey-oh.
Tree and Alex, thank you.
Yeah. You guys. Good.
Bill from New York Shooter. Thank you.
Stay safe.
Yes. Blake Balake. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Mark Watts, thank you. Jeremy, Baramy, and Cassie and Gamora, thank you very much.
Thanks, y'all.
We all
Hope to see you soon.
We had a great time staring at Gamora's enormous asshole on the meetup Thursday. Now,
true.
Just a friendly reminder, Gamora is a dog, so we're not being creepy, but she is a big dog and she got a big butt. Amanda, thank you.
Thank you.
Alise, I mean, Jesus, are there enough thank yous?
I'm going to give her some thank yous.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll make sure I give some for the rest of you.
Please do. And finally,
love you, baby.
Finally, Ernest Ernie Perez.
Our boy!
Just my boy!
Hey, thank you so much, guys. I know several filmmakers have contacted us since April, but everything has been so crazy.
It's just hard to do things right now. Let's just give ourselves some breathing room.
Yeah. So I apologize. I know you have messages out there that have just been sitting in our queue.
I mean, this or the Tonight Show to get your films promoted. And I know that we're ruining this for you.
The difference is that, Jimmy Fallon doesn't have a second job. Is it Jimmy Fallon? Is he the one that does the Tonight Show?
He is his kid's dad.
He's his kid's dad. But wait, who does the Tonight Show? Is it him? Okay. I don't even know anymore. Like the last time is Johnny Carson, right? I think of the Tonight Show. I still think Johnny Carson. That's
Ha ha! Yes, sir.
Don't you guys think of Johnny Carson?
Well, yeah, but
No,
I
I
mean,
think
more.
Leno.
Yeah, Leno.
You think Leno?
Because in our lifetime, I mean, Johnny Carson was done what? 90s?
I actually don't even think
When we were in
Leno.
high school, I think. Yeah.
I can't
Conan.
remember who it is now because after Leno, they like fixed and fuxed around with it so that it was like different people. Like, oh, it's Conan. Now it's Leno. Oh, Seth Meyers, maybe. I don't know. Oh, Jimmy. Like, I don't know who fucking hosts that show.
Right.
Turns out it's me.
Andy, congratulations. We should really
Yeah.
be watching more
Yeah.
often.
I'm real bad at it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a hard job. It's a hard job.
All right, listeners.
Love y'all.
Be kind, be good, be empathetic, and love.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of the Dead. And Igor made the nachos in a severed human head, and they enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of London